Welcome back to another Bitcoin price update. Ever since April, we are seeing some strong resistance at this trend line, and whenever it touches the trend line, it quickly goes back down, and by quite a lot. So it happened here as well, and we could see a potential pump to this level, which would mean around 24,000. But to really understand what is going on here, we need to zoom in to the 4-hour chart. So before I trace this trend line, which was supposed to be the neckline of this reverse head and shoulders, it didn't really happen. Bitcoin fell straight back, but we did held above 18,500, which was the important levels that I mentioned, and Bitcoin is starting to come back up. So what we do in this case, we bring the Fibonacci as always. Fibonacci from this little high here to this little low. Look at this. We are currently above the 50 level, so I do expect to find some resistance around this level, which is the same that we saw around here. So between 20,600 and 21,200. So around these levels, you can expect some resistance. I think it will depend on the stock market, honestly. The futures today are in green, but we have to see during the day what will happen. I do see the potential of Bitcoin to actually have a big pump. And just look at this, the Fibonacci extension 1.618, it would bring us to 24,000. If we can break above this resistance and make a new high, I do not expect the price to stop here. I think we're going straight up to 24,000, which kind of corroborates with this long-term downtrend line, which is sitting around exactly 24,000. But the reason I am not making a long here is because I do not expect this to be the actual bottom, because the volume was way too low, and I don't think we've seen capitulation yet. So that's the only reason why I don't long at these levels, because it's looking pretty good. And maybe the ideal scenario would be to wait Bitcoin close a 4-hour candle above the 21,200, and then we can start to think about this potential big trade up to 24,000. It will be around 15% profit, which is quite significant, especially if you are using leverage. But maybe a better trade would be to wait for Bitcoin to go up here and then short it. I would be more comfortable with a short position. Considering the state of the world, there are a lot of countries that don't have enough food. We have this huge problem with inflation, supply chain because of the war and sanctions. So the world has very big problems right now, and I do not expect them to be solved anytime soon. You know, if this was like a year ago, 2 years ago, and I saw this on the chart, I would be with a very strong position here to the upside. But the situation is more complicated. On the downside, I would be very concerned only if we broke below the 18,500. Otherwise, Bitcoin could just hang around here for a bit, for a week or two, until it has the strength to either go up or down. Now, if Bitcoin can actually break above this Fibonacci, little retrace, and we do it again, and finally we go around 24,000, maybe even a little fake out. And if Bitcoin can actually stay above this line and stay something like this could be very positive, all right? If Bitcoin can actually do, then we could expect 27, maybe even 30K. But I think it's not gonna be so easy. If we look into the recent past, this is what people were expecting around here. And the pump did not happen. I myself was expecting a pump around here, and it just crashed even more. So you have to be very careful during these times. Anyway, the fact that Bitcoin did held above the 18,500 is potentially positive. And I also want to bring the daily chart again, so that we see that the 50 moving average, which is this orange line here, is around this trend line. So we could expect a big resistance because this trend line will keep going down. So it would actually be right in the middle of the Fibonacci, the trend line, and the 50 moving average. If Bitcoin is going to 24K, I would probably short it. Honestly, I think a short here would be more suited in this current scenario. Now, before I end this video, I just want to show you the weekly candle as well. So here is the weekly candle, and it's quite indecisive yet. We did not see a big move to the upside or to the downside, so we have to wait and see. That is all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next Bitcoin update.